Zimbabwe has become a land gripped by tension, whispers, and suspense. The streets of Harare pulse with a strange mixture of fear, excitement, and curiosity. Everyone's attention has turned to one man, Blessed Geza. A war veteran, a fighter, a man who once carried a rifle in the liberation struggle and now carries the hopes of millions seeking change. His arrival in the capital has sent shockwaves across the nation. Geza is not alone. He has come with a convoy of men, some dressed in uniform, others waving flags and chanting slogans, all heading straight towards State House. The message is unmistakable: Geza hasn't come to negotiate, he has come to act. Zimbabwe holds its breath as this man challenges power head-on. It's not just politics anymore, it's history unfolding before the eyes of an anxious nation. The late afternoon sun hangs low over Harare, casting a golden hue across the city. Then, without warning, the calm is broken by the deep roar of engines in the distance. Heads turn. A convoy of vehicles moves steadily through the streets. Some are simple pickup trucks, others appear distinctly military, their sides crowded with armed men in camouflage. Leading the charge is Blessed Geza himself, standing tall through the sunroof, a megaphone in his hand. His voice cuts through the air with electrifying clarity: Mnangagwa must go. The time has come. The chant echoes through the city as people rush out of shops and buildings, capturing every second on their phones. Shop owners peer cautiously from their doorways, unsure whether they're witnessing a protest, a march, or the first act of something far greater. Police vehicles idle nearby, their engines running but their sirens silent. The city holds its collective breath, waiting to see who will make the first move. Across social media, Geza's words spread like wildfire. In a recent statement, he declared with conviction, "There is no turning back. We will not rest until he is removed from office. The people have suffered enough. We fought for this country, and we cannot watch it be destroyed by greed." These were not empty slogans, they were words that carried the weight of history and sacrifice. And they struck a deep chord with countless Zimbabweans, who have grown weary of unfulfilled promises, relentless corruption, and a crumbling economy. For years, people have endured rising prices, vanishing jobs, power cuts that stretched through the night, and scandals that never seemed to end. Geza's message resonates because it is born from their pain, frustration, exhaustion, and the desperate yearning for dignity. And when a war veteran, a man who once risked his life for independence, speaks out against the system he helped build, the entire nation listens. His challenge has shaken the very foundation of power. Inside State House, whispers of panic are said to ripple through the corridors of authority. President Mnangagwa's security teams have reinforced the gates, and intelligence officers are tracking every move Geza makes. Emergency meetings are rumored to have been called in haste, as the leadership scrambles to decide its next move. But every possible decision carries risk. Arresting a war hero could ignite public outrage and plunge the nation into chaos. Ignoring him could embolden him further, allowing his influence to grow unchecked. It's a lose-lose scenario for the president, and Geza knows it. The tension thickens as ordinary citizens whisper their own questions in markets and buses. "Is this the end of Mnangagwa?" one woman asks. "Or will Geza vanish like all those before him who dared to stand up?" another replies. Taxi drivers argue at intersections, street vendors murmur behind stalls, office workers exchange nervous glances. Everyone feels it. Zimbabwe has reached a crossroads. Yet, Geza's plan runs deeper than protests and slogans. He is calling for impeachment, a constitutional, legal removal of the president from office on the grounds of mental and physical incapacity. The accusation is bold, almost unthinkable, and if Parliament were to take it seriously, it could spark an investigation that ends with Mnangagwa's downfall. Whether Parliament will dare to take such a step is another matter entirely. Geza, however, is no impulsive rebel. His every move seems deliberate, calculated, and strategic. He knows the constitution, understands the machinery of power, and more importantly, understands the pulse of the people. He is not standing alone either. Behind him, quietly but unmistakably, are other veterans and influential figures, some from within the establishment, others operating outside it. If even a handful of powerful insiders within ZANU-PF were to secretly align with him, the president's position could become perilously fragile. As Geza's convoy edges closer to State House, rumors swirl faster than facts. Some claim that soldiers are defecting to his side, others insist that Mnangagwa has already summoned reinforcements. The truth is elusive, buried beneath layers of speculation and fear. Yet, one thing remains certain: the tension in Harare is real, tangible, and electric. Every household seems glued to their phones, refreshing feeds, scanning for updates, desperate to know what's happening in the streets outside. Beyond Zimbabwe's borders, neighboring countries like South Africa, Botswana, and Mozambique watch with growing concern. Memories of 2017 hang in the air, the last time a sitting president was ousted in a dramatic military intervention. The irony is bitter and undeniable: the very system that once carried Mnangagwa into power now faces the possibility of bringing about his undoing. History, it seems, might be preparing to repeat itself. International media outlets have already picked up the story. Journalists flood Harare, calling this moment a potential turning point in Zimbabwean politics. Foreign embassies issue advisories urging their citizens to stay indoors as uncertainty deepens. The city has become a stage where the nation's destiny is being rewritten in real time. Amidst all this chaos, Blessed Geza has transformed into a symbol, a man both revered and feared. To some, he is a hero, the embodiment of courage and justice. To others, he is a dangerous agitator, a man willing to plunge the country into instability. But everyone agrees on one thing: he is fearless. His voice, loud and uncompromising, has pierced through the silence that has enveloped Zimbabwe for too long. He is saying what millions have whispered in private, and that is power of a different kind, the kind that no gun or decree can silence. At the heart of this unfolding drama lies one question that consumes every conversation: will Mnangagwa survive this challenge, or is this the beginning of his political collapse? The president has weathered storms before, but this one feels different. It's not coming from opposition parties or activists, it's coming from within the liberation ranks, from men who once fought beside him, who share his history, his struggles, and his legitimacy. When division arises within the family that built the ruling order, the outcome becomes unpredictable. It's not merely a political battle, it's an identity crisis for the nation itself. The veterans once united under one vision for independence now stand divided over the meaning of freedom, justice, and loyalty. As night descends upon Harare, the city's heartbeat slows but never fully rests. The streets are quieter, yet the air hums with anticipation. Conversations soften into whispers, radios play low, and every home waits for dawn. Will Geza's convoy reach State House by morning? Will Mnangagwa break his silence and address the nation? Or will the night bring gunfire, arrests, or worse? No one knows. But everyone senses that Zimbabwe has stepped into uncharted territory. The events of the coming days could alter the nation's course for generations. Across the city, young and old alike sit glued to screens, sharing rumors, speculating, hoping, fearing. The uncertainty is suffocating, but it's also alive, a reminder that the spirit of the people, though battered, is not broken. Meanwhile, global attention intensifies. Analysts debate whether Geza's movement represents genuine grassroots resistance or a power struggle disguised as reform. Some draw parallels to the Arab Spring, others to 2017's military transition. Yet for ordinary Zimbabweans, these comparisons don't matter. What matters is the daily reality of hunger, unemployment, and hopelessness. Geza, for all his flaws, has given voice to their anguish. He has made them believe, if only for a moment, that change is possible. In his defiance, they see the reflection of their own suppressed anger and forgotten pride. Even those skeptical of his methods cannot ignore the raw truth he speaks. Inside political circles, loyalty is beginning to blur. Reports suggest that certain officials are quietly withdrawing their support for the president, fearing they might be on the wrong side of history. Others cling fiercely to the establishment, warning that any disruption could plunge the nation into chaos. The atmosphere is one of paranoia and doubt. Trust, already scarce, has evaporated entirely. Ministers watch one another closely, soldiers await orders they hope will never come, and citizens brace for impact. Every whisper carries weight, every rumor feels like prophecy. By the time the first light breaks over Harare, the city feels transformed. The air is heavy with the knowledge that Zimbabwe stands on the brink of something monumental. Whether it will be rebirth or ruin remains uncertain. But what is undeniable is that the silence has been broken. The people are awake. Blessed Geza's rise has cracked the facade of untouchable power. His words, "We will not rest," echo through neighborhoods, markets, and rural villages. They remind everyone that the promise of independence, the dream of a fair and prosperous Zimbabwe, is not yet dead. It merely waits for those bold enough to claim it. And so, as the world watches, Zimbabwe writes its next chapter. The story is still unfolding, written not just by politicians and soldiers, but by ordinary citizens, vendors, students, mothers, and veterans, all caught in the currents of history. Whether Geza triumphs or falls, his movement has already changed the national conversation. The fear that once silenced the people has been replaced by curiosity, courage, and defiance. Power may resist, but change, once awakened, cannot easily be contained. The storm has begun, and Zimbabwe stands at its center, trembling but unyielding, ready to face whatever dawn brings.